The changing landscape of the housing market in Las Vegas requires a real estate professional that understands how to get your offer accepted, willing to go above and beyond for service and accountability. Hi, my name is Dan French, and I'm a California native that transitioned to Las Vegas 19 years ago. I've been in the real estate and financing industry for over 13 years. Most real estate agents struggle with answering their phone, returning phone calls, and overall structure running a solid real estate business. Many of my competitors do not have the knowledge of how to write solid offers to legitimately have your offer looked at, and they work with a commission-first mentality. I will roll up my sleeves and work hard to find the right home for you regardless of the time it takes. Please call me directly 702-557-6176 to start the process of finding the right home for you. I'm available 7 days a week for all your real estate needs.
Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dan French. It's Tuesday, so we have a French Workbench podcast going on. We have a full studio. Everybody's in house, and we're all partying it up, right? We're all having a good time. Brett's drinking his red line.
Can barely handle all the excitement.
Oh if you guys don't know about this channel, this is the most real and behind-the-scenes information regarding financing, real estate, money talk entrepreneurs, going on through on-job experience here in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Dan French, streaming live. And if you guys have any questions throughout the show, we do have a comment section here. You guys can answer or ask some questions. We'll answer the questions. And also, like the channel, like the content, subscribe. We need more subscribers. So let's go ahead and go across the room here. I want to introduce everybody that's involved. So let's go ahead and talk with Mr. Brett Jenny. What's going on, Brett?
What's happening, Dan French?
What's going on with you, buddy? What's happening?
Man, just trying to work with these buyers that are just with these crazy offers right now, man.
Anything new happening in your life, buddy?
My dad's in town.
Your dad's in town. What's
fun?
Dude, you guys aren't going like out, or you guys just hanging out? Like, what are you guys doing?
We are literally hitting the clubs every night.
You're such a liar.
I mean,
You're a liar, Dan.
Have you guys hit the library recently? Because I think they got a lot of books to check out over there at the library.
Yeah, a lot of learning going on there, man. A lot of growing up there.
All right. So what's going on with you besides that? Real estate? You got out in the market. I'm sure you're reading cryptocurrency every day, right?
Of course, every day I'm trying to read up and learn about that and do something new. So yeah. Other than that, man, just trying to get offers accepted in this crazy market.
And we have Shannon Miller's back. Shannon, what's going on? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. I told you guys before we started this, I'm like, oh gosh, my travels are catching up with me today. I'm tired.
Crash time.
Yeah, no, out of that past, I think 15 days, I've been gone for 8 or 9.
So what's up with that? You travel all the time? Like, where do you go?
No, not consistently. I used to, on a consistent basis before quarantine and COVID and that whole thing, at least twice a year, go to like a personal development or, business event, whatever.
Yeah.
And haven't done it for a while. I did go to the 10X in March of last year.
Okay.
And so I just had some opportunities and decided to jump on it. And literally, I think it was Tuesday. It was last week when we were doing the podcast. All of a sudden it was, oh, you're leaving town. And I was throwing things on my floor.
Like an hour later, you're on a plane ride.
And my boyfriend's like, do you need some help? I was like, yeah, I have to go.
Yeah.
So it's catching up with me today. So let's just keep
it up. Let's keep the energy up, right?
Let's keep it up, man.
I mean, you got to just take a hit of the red line right here. Brett's
I'm a little afraid because honestly, I don't trust
It'll do you right.
It'll do you right. Every other beat on your heart will skip, but it's okay.
It's legal.
It's okay. As long as I don't die.
It's legal.
My kids will
it's
make
legalized,
a lot of money if I die, though. So.
Yeah.
Legalized lightning in a bottle.
Right.
Let's go ahead and introduce our guest of honor, and she's here. We want to say thank you so much. She's a business consultant, I believe, right? And her name is Vicki Greco, right? And so let's talk with you a little bit. First off, thank you for coming on.
No problem. Thank you. But I want to know what's in that red line.
Oh, you don't want to know.
Lightning in a bottle. Yeah.
He drinks it every time. It's very scary what happens.
I drink it in portions. So I wouldn't suggest and I drink it pretty much every day, which I don't suggest either.
Okay.
But even drinking it every day, I still drink in increments because
Keeps them up on the Bitcoin.
it'll get you going.
So I think there's a lot of people out there that really don't understand how to run a business thoroughly. Like, I think there's a lot of startup, they don't do their research, and we don't see a lot of people that are like, you know what, will this even work? And we talked about this earlier. And so you look at it and you're like, well, do you need to set up, if you have investment properties, right, in an LLC or a trust and things like that? But she does other things. So we're going to talk with Vicki a lot about what's going on with what she deals with on a daily basis. So let's first off talk and give us an understanding of your background and what you do.
Okay, well, I'm Vicki Greco of Nevada Small Business Consulting. That's my DBA. We'll get into that with the differences between an LLC and a DBA, but my LLC is Silent G Consulting. And basically, I help people form entities, whether it's a nonprofit or for-profit, an LLC. I don't recommend sole proprietors, but if that's what they want, that's a default entity, and that's fine. My background is I was a licensed criminal defense attorney in town for 15 years.
Right.
I'm not in the field anymore, and now I just do consulting to small businesses, not licensed. So I'm not really giving legal advice, but I am basing it on a lot of knowledge and expertise in the area.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
So where do people come in? Like, so why would somebody seek you out to, like, if I'm running a business or I'm looking for a business, why would I call you?
Well, why I would like people to call me is for consulting on, is this a good business? Will it be profitable? How do I know if it's going to be profitable, and what should I do? But most people contact me because they just want to set up the LLC. Mm-hmm. They have their opinion. They know that they're going to be millionaires next year. And
Right.
We all are. That's why we do it, right?
If they don't pay me for my opinion, I don't give it to them.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, unfortunately, about 70% of the businesses that come without any consulting as to what they need to do and the paths they need to take fail.
Right.
Because everybody thinks their idea is the best idea.
Of course.
And
Yeah. So let's talk. How long you been living in Las Vegas now?
28 long years.
28 long years. Where would you originally come from?
I was born in the Bronx.
Wow.
I'm Italian from the block. And
I see.
That's the Greco.
Yeah, that's
right?
the Greco.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've been down that road, and so you came to Vegas. What is it? Just because you felt like there was more opportunity? Like, what drove you to Vegas?
So the funny thing is at the time, so I moved to Orange County when I was about 10. And then I went to undergrad in Chicago.
Okay.
And I came to Vegas for a vacation, like many people do, and saw, wow, look at the opportunity here. Look at how cheap houses are 28 years ago.
They were
Right?
at one point.
Yep.
And I'm not going to date myself, but
Up
I was
until
in
2
my-
years ago, actually.
I was in my mid-20s, and I could afford a house.
Yeah.
So I was like, why not?
That's Vegas, man, or used to be, yeah.
So you look at like the Bronx, right? That's already, I would say, obviously it's established. It's been around for a long time. I don't really know that history of long as New York and all these things that we're talking about as far as it's been established. But Vegas seems like it's relatively new, correct? Like you look at the city and it's relatively still growing.
It's
right?
new money.
Yeah.
Vegas is, from my criminal defense background, Vegas is the only place you can actually go in the country and show your money.
Yeah.
And people actually applaud you for it. Most
Right.
other parts of the country, people are on the down low with it.
Yeah,
It's
because
so true. It's so true. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to talk about that. But in Vegas, like, it is somewhat of a transient town, but people do come here.
They love
to
the flex
make
here.
money. They have the flex, and we can say, hey, look what I'm doing.
And
I'm
nobody asks
succeeding.
them where the money comes from out here.
Well,
It's a town where you can definitely feel your success.
Exactly.
And it allows you to.
But I mean, in comparison, though, don't you think that? And what I'm trying to make a point is that you look at like place like New York, which has been around for years, right? So you look at Vegas. I feel like Vegas is just kind of coming into its own, where people are coming here and they're feeling like it's still somewhat of a city that they're trying to work through or to build into, right? Where I feel like New York or the Bronx, it's already kind of established itself, right? So would you say that that's also
So
something here with
I think that the people that have been here a while that are leaving don't like the transients of all California coming here, because California can sell a house that they bought for $400,000 or $500,000 for $2 or $3 million and come here and live like a king.
Right.
The people that have been here and seen that are now going to different places like Georgia, Atlanta, those kind of places where money can still buy a lot more than here. And so I think Vegas is
It's
in
still
the
a
middle
desirable
now,
place,
it's
right?
desirable, but I think the people that have been here for a really long time have already gotten what they want out of it and trying to go other places.
So you feel that there's not equally, but there's a lot of people still exiting Las Vegas
Absolutely.
to go, say, Midwest, because we talk about a lot on the show about people like follow up with, okay, if I'm in New York or I'm in California, I'm going to move inward because now I can live from a bigger home. A lot of people are working from home, so the cost of living is a lot cheaper. You said the Bronx, and that's why I say I think a lot of people move inward, and Vegas is still desirable because we're still somewhat, and I know but we're a new city. Like we're one of the last, I would say, pioneers of getting something created as far as a city goes, or even a state, right? In some areas, because Las Vegas, I mean, you go back, how quick has this thing transitioned? You go back 50, 75 years.
Oh gosh.
It's just completely different,
Oh, yeah.
And it's got tons of land still, right?
On Instagram, I follow Vintage Vegas. It's a page on Instagram, and they have photos. And like the trip is when they have like home video from like 61 or 62.
It's
And you see
crazy.
"Welcome to Las Vegas" sign, and there's literally open desert on both sides going down the strip.
I just had this conversation.
It's completely insane.
My boyfriend and I were driving on Summerlin Parkway and we were hitting 215. I remember, because I grew up in Vegas pretty much. But I remember my dad and I were off-roading. We would ride Jeeps and dirt bikes and, the quads, the whole thing. I can get my hands dirty even though I have long nails. It's okay,
Yeah.
you guys. So, but I remember specifically there was a day that we had gone off-roading and we hit this huge patch of just this long stretch of graded land. And I'm like, Dad, what is this? And he's like, I think it's the new freeway that they're putting in. And it was the 215.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at him and I go, but Dad, there's nothing out here. We're off-roading in the middle of
Well, that's like what they're doing to Howard
Right?
Hughes land now in Summerlin.
Right.
As you go back
I
up
know,
to
but
the base of the mountain. I took my Jeep out there all the time.
Yeah.
And I haven't taken my Jeep out there in probably 3 months. And what used to be take me 45 minutes to get up to the Red Rocks,
Yep.
it's now all flat,
But after
and
their
it takes me
crash-
5 minutes.
After their crash, they stopped building.
And
the way
you'll
they
see they go all the main road already carved going all the way up. It's
crazy.
crazy. It's
I
absolutely
love it.
insane.
So let's talk with Vicki about a couple of things. So with that transition with your business, let's talk about some people that you deal with. Like we always talk about, like, okay, what is the type of clientele that you really attract or people you work with? So what type of people come to you? I know you said real estate agents come to you because they don't understand being a sole proprietor, like you said, versus actually having an LLC or having something set up is completely different. It can save you a lot of money, right?
Absolutely. Well, not only save you a lot of money, there's two aspects of an LLC that you want. It's the protection of your personal assets. So let's assume if you are a realtor, you have assets. And if you have assets, the liability component of the protection that you're going to get, realtors don't have as much liability as, let's say, a plumber who's going to go in and do somebody's pipe. So maybe the liability issue isn't a big deal, but everybody has that one crazy client that wants to sue you no matter what you did, even if you were right. And even if you don't have the liability issue and they sue you, your personal credit will go down during that 2 to 3 year legal
Right.
process. So that's it. But for realtors, the LLC has a tax benefit of being taxed as an S Corp. So you hear a lot of people talking about, oh, I'm an S Corp. They talk the wrong. What they don't understand is an S Corp is a tax classification from the IRS, like a 501c3. I explain to people.
Right.
501c3 is a nonprofit. You can have a Nevada nonprofit without being tax exempt. So 501 is the tax exempt status. As an LLC, single member, you can opt to either be a disregarded entity and tax like a sole proprietor or tax as an S Corp. There's a special form that you file. It's a 2553 for that S Corp status. What that S Corp status does is make you an employee of your company and you pay yourself
Yeah.
A salary.
and so if you take $100,000, the quickest way to explain it, $100,000 sole proprietor realtor makes $100,000. They're paying 15.16%, which is about 16 cents on every dollar, to their self-employment tax, which is Social Security and Medicare. If you are taking that same $100,000 in an S Corp LLC, you put yourself on a reasonable salary, whatever your accountant says reasonable might be $40,000. You're only going to pay that 15% on that $40,000, and the rest is going to be taxed on a Schedule C through your personal return, and you don't have to pay that double. So you'll save $9,000 or $10,000 minimum, plus the other benefits that you can have, like you can write off your health insurance 100% towards your income.
So do you have people that you've set up from a team perspective? Okay, somebody comes in, they set up an LLC, you decide, okay, the best route is to go to an S Corp from here. And then do you have people that you refer out to that you trust, whether it be an accountant or an attorney, whatever that is, to make sure that on the back end, they're actually following through? Because it is hard when you go into business on your own. We don't understand those things. We know we're an expert in real estate, right? Like in mortgage, that's what we do. And so on the back end, do you have a team of people that you typically work with?
I have an
support?
absolute team of people, yes.
That's awesome.
And so here's the thing. I have SEO, website, search engine optimization. I have somebody for everything that somebody needs. And because I am a small business myself, I actually know that they work.
Yeah.
And they do it the right way because I use them in my network as well.
Very good. You run events as well, right?
I do not run events, but I am the business consultant for several networking companies and
Because
events.
I've heard
in town.
about some networking things that you do as well in town, and it's
Network LV.
is it women specific?
It's
Is that
not
right?
women specific. Every third event we allow men to come.
I
We
see.
we
Okay.
feel as
No
str-
boys allowed.
as
Not always.
as
Boy, that
It's
means
not
we
a
gotta go to the
dating-
library.
Yeah.
as strong
Okay,
Guess,
as,
guess Dan and I are going to the library.
Stop it.
as strong businesswomen, we feel that it does take strong businessmen to hold us up.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. I agree with you.
Yes.
Do some learning.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's talk about businesses. All right. So we always know that everybody has an idea, and you know what? I feel like you got an idea, go try it. It might fail. Why do businesses typically fail? Like, what is one of the key ingredients of why businesses may not work? Do you see a pattern or something similar amongst startup? Right?
Absolutely. Would you like me to use an example? I'm not
Yes.
going to use
Please.
names.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
I had a client come to me and they wanted to open a smoke shop.
Okay.
They didn't ask me my opinion. They didn't do any market research. They just wanted a smoke shop for some reason in
Because
their
they
whole
like
life.
to smoke.
I don't know. Didn't ask.
Yeah, but just the idea of saying you got a
So,
smoke shop.
so what type of a smoke shop? Is it the green or is it like the tobacco?
No, it's going to be tobacco.
Okay, I didn't know.
It's a whole other
Tobacco.
story if you want to be
It's a whole
green, dude. They don't let. You got to be on the list of. Get that, man.
Because I was thinking that the green actually is doing really well. A lot of
It
people-
is.
I mean, it's popping up.
That's why
everywhere.
you've got to be selected
But
and
isn't
go
that
through all
somewhat
this
of a
stuff.
saturated market? Let's be real.
Yeah, but I mean, in order, they don't give all these licenses out just
No, they
left and
don't.
right, though. So that's the thing.
So,
So
before
it's
anybody
very-
goes into a brick and mortar
Yeah.
versus a home-based business,
Mm-hmm.
there would be different things that you would need to look into. And in a brick and mortar, you need to hire somebody like me to do a market analysis. Where's your closest competitor? How far away are they? What is their average sale point? What is their rent? What are your employees going to cost you? There's a whole procedure that we do.
Right.
And it's a package that we sell to make sure that your investment is going to work. And on the flip side, we look at what could go wrong.
Yeah.
What happens if you don't sell enough of this? Or what happens if your building burns down? Or what happens? And so we think about the things that people don't want to think about. And when we do that, we would have been able to tell them this is not going to succeed.
So what happened? They fell on their face.
Yes.
Okay.
So they lost $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 on their build outs, their tenant improvements, their first and last rent, putting
Yeah.
everything down, licensing, zoning, product.
Product,
Had
right.
they put $5,000 or $10,000 into actually looking into what a good business would be, they would be successful.
Do you think
today.
though that in a business, like a lot of people, they don't really know what they're going to do, and then they get that idea, and a lot of people promote that failure is part of business. Like you got, and I'm not saying you got to throw $40,000-$50,000. I'm just saying part of it is failure, right? And so this would prevent maybe going from 100 to 0 where you just lost everything. Maybe because you talked to somebody like yourself where you minimize the damages. It may not work, but based upon what you tell them and what goes on, would it support or help them? The losses may not be catastrophic or as catastrophic.
I don't believe any loss is good. So if there's a way to stop it, I mean, maybe over time in personal situations, you have to learn from your mistakes. But in business, I don't think you have to learn from your mistakes the hard way like that, because there are things, and books. You don't have to call me. You can read a book and learn what you need to do to see if your business has those things. And the biggest thing, if anybody's starting a business, is stop thinking about what's going to go right and start thinking about what could go wrong and how you're going to fix it.
Yeah.
Really? So you take an approach that says this could go wrong. Let's like fix this or put something in front of that in case something, because we think that it's going to go this direction. So you're really kind of just, putting, I guess, I wouldn't say a Band-Aid, but you're really putting roadblocks in places for this might not work because you've had experience. This is why it's good to talk to somebody like you, because you may lose money, and I've had others lose money in the same situation.
Somebody that's been successful at it. I ran a successful law firm. I stopped doing it. I started this firm 3 years ago. I started my website, my SEO, a year ago, and the results take time. So you have to have a plan. You have to know what your output is, what your input is, what you're going to do. You just can't go in thinking, I have this great idea, I'm going to make money.
Yep.
It doesn't happen that way. It's a lot of hard work. And now we have social media, and we have networking, and we have things opening back up, and rules and regulations, and just a lot of things that people don't think about, and they really need to think about it. I wish people would come to me with the idea before they actually
implement.
Right.
I'm curious, with the people that you work with on average, for the ones that actually do take your advice and run with it, how long on average would you say it takes for a new business owner or entrepreneur to start actually making a profit versus just trying to break even with what they've put into their business?
It depends on the type of business.
No, it's true.
And it depends on what the product is. Is it a service? Is it a good?
Yeah.
I always tell people, as a lawyer, I came from my ticket being $5,000 to $10,000. So how many clients do I need?
Right.
Now my average ticket is $500 to $1,500. So how many clients do I need? If I'm selling hamburgers from a food truck that's going to cost me $25,000 to get it on the road, you're going to take at least a year to 2 years to get your initial investment back and start being profitable. So it depends on the business, and every business has its own analysis that it has to go through.
Really interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. You look at some of these businesses. What is one of the popular or the more popular businesses that people try to start here in Las Vegas? I know you said tobacco. Is that something that people really... Is it like a good return?
Vape shops all over,
Oh my
man.
God, what is that?
Are you asking me what do I see people opening?
Yeah,
Yes.
like the main.
Online. I want to sell clothes. I want to do this. Online shops. And they're great.
E-commerce.
But here's what I tell them. Where are you going to get the traffic from?
Right.
Where are you going to get the sales from?
Well, I tried to start an online like cryptocurrency product store, and the problem. So here's the whole thing.
Were you wearing a vest? Were you wearing a fluffy vest?
100%, and gold chains. I got to do it in style.
Oh, you wore gold chains?
Oh,
That's
you know
why.
it. Oh, bro, would I go without?
I mean, come on.
What is that? Hey, what's that movie that with the...
I forgot what I'm gonna say, man.
All right, go ahead.
Oh gosh.
Forgot what I was gonna say.
You're done for.
So I was starting this online Bitcoin merchandise store.
When did you start it?
Like 6 months ago. Okay, so the whole thing is
You didn't call
I had some money. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna throw some money at something, at a system, and have someone else set up the system, and then I'm just gonna be the money guy and right? So I go to Fiverr, and I paid like $1,500 for this to get set up. But there's certain key things in there that they don't tell you. They're like, okay, I set up the site. What do you want to do? But then they don't say things like, oh, well, the prices I have set automatically on my website don't include what shipping's going to be. So now I got to figure out shipping routes and cost of shipping for different areas. Now I need to get in contact with suppliers to make like all this stuff that they don't show you.
Brett.
I just thought, I just pay someone $1,500. He set up an online store, and I'm ready to go.
Right.
If it was
And then there was this whole nother thing that I was like,
did you not do your research? Is that what happened?
no.
So how much money were you out?
I was out like $1,500.
That's not bad.
Okay, so guess what? He wasn't running it as a real business. He says he started a business, but all he did was start a website as a sole proprietor.
It was supposed to be an extra stream of business, and it was just something that I was trying out, and it was a learning experience. I'll probably go back to it because now I kind of know the elements that need to be more involved in it, but I just wasn't.
You just didn't know.
I was like, Jesus,
you don't know what you don't know.
This is going to require time. Like that's why I paid somebody.
I'm actually curious, Vicki. What what is your ideal client? Who do you like? What businesses or type of business owners do you love to work with? Like the ones that you're like, yes.
I got a client last week.
Paying ones.
I got a client last week
Shut up, Brett.
that found me on my website because she wants to open up a tutoring school.
Oh.
Okay, she's a teacher and she's not making a lot of money and she just came into some money. But her comment was, I don't want to just spend my money. I want to know if it's going to work. I want to know if the demographics in my area are good. I'm like, well, you're going to be tutoring. What part of town do you want to be in? Sky Canyon. Great, because you're not going to have people coming from Henderson.
Right.
So now we have a limited demographic. So now we have to look at the schools. And she said, how much is it going to cost? And I said, it's going to cost you $7,000 to $10,000 if you want me to do all the work. But at the end of the day, you will know if that business will be successful.
Right.
And she didn't want to go that route. So we went a cheaper route, and she's doing a lot of the work, and I'm kind of coaching her on it. But I like the people that don't just know that they have a good idea, but they want to know how to make their good idea work.
Yeah, so somebody who actually
They're always
wants
open to
dig
learning.
in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of these people, when they lose money, do they go back and they start up another business later, but they contact you, or do they just, you know what, I started it, I tried it, I didn't make it, and then they go back to a W-2 job?
A lot of them that are starting it and not making it already have that W-2 job, and
Wow.
they're trying to do it on the side.
That's what I see.
So one of
it's
my
a
ads
side
says,
hustle.
make your side hustle legit. That's my tagline. And I try to help people make it legit.
Right.
And I can set up the LLC and I can do those things. But if that's the end of my involvement, generally when it comes time to renew that LLC, it goes into default, unfortunately.
Gosh, interesting. But I mean, when you look at percentages, I mean, even, okay, let's talk about the real estate world, right? How many real estate agents are licensed in town? How many are actually making a living, a true living off of it? And it really does take that small percentage that want to fall through. They actually want to follow through with everything and listen and have guidance and invest in themselves. So.
Running a business is a lot of work, and sometimes things that you don't want to do. Not to say I don't want to be here tonight, but I'm working right now.
Me
I'm
too.
here networking and marketing myself. And if I wasn't doing this, some people just think the clients are going to come to them. Just like
Wait,
single
wait.
people think they're going to get a boyfriend by not doing
That's-
anything to find it.
I thought that you're supposed to just think about it and the universe drops it to you.
Well,
That's
that's
not how that
manifestation, and,
It isn't.
and there's another girl that you can go on Instagram and follow, and she's making a lot of money telling people that.
Yeah. Uh-huh. There's a lot of that.
No, it's crazy. I mean, I was thinking the same thing. Like, you know,
I'm just here for the party gifts. Are we doing a show?
yeah, we're doing a show.
Oh. Where am I?
You know, you got to stop drinking that red line.
Oh, I'm
Stop
sorry.
it.
So,
Yeah.
so let's say this though. So a lot of people they do fail, but there's a lot of people that succeed. What's the highest person that succeeded with you? Like, I mean, have you seen somebody start? Because there's a lot of shops and stuff. Let's say you got smoothie shops. I see those start up. You know, they're pretty, relatively inexpensive to start up. You know, a tropical smoothie
Want
cafe,
some
things
juice?
like that. So, like, is there businesses like that where you've seen people just kind of expand here in Las Vegas? Because there's a lot of local, startup restaurants and things like that happen here.
So you're talking about Tropical Smoothie. I thought that was a franchise, but am I not?
It is, but I mean,
So-
somebody could buy into it for
So-
I think it's like a $250,000. You could buy into one, and it seems like people are like, well, is that more of a safer place, right? Instead of just starting completely over from scratch, you're buying into a franchise, and you're saying, well, maybe this is a little easier to get started because they already got the systems, they got the culture.
What if they don't want to go that route and they start Dan's Juices?
Are you asking me for my opinion?
Yeah, like
I
what
don't
do
want
you think?
Dan's
Do you
juice.
think it's better?
My opinion is I don't ever advise somebody to buy into a franchise.
Really?
No.
Why is that?
Because if you have $250,000 that you can invest into something, we can find you something.
Think about how far
way
you could
better.
go starting
I
starting up
agree with
Dan's
you.
Juices.
I agree with you. If you
Dan's Juices could do well with $250,000.
Well, here's my thing: is that you're taking out all the guesswork. Like you could just go to somebody like you and say, "Look, okay, here's what
Okay,
it
but
is."
wait, let me stop you.
Okay.
And what happens?
I like her.
And what happens when the pandemic comes? And in your contract for the franchise, you owe them a certain amount of money, and there is not a God clause for something like that happens.
I'm calling the
now
Fed, and I'm
they
getting
owe-
that fat check.
And they owe you though, and it
just
wasn't.
like-
It wasn't that easy. It really wasn't. As a business owner, it wasn't that easy. I watched people get money that should never have gotten money, and true business entrepreneurs that really, really deserved that money didn't get
What do you-
it.
what
No,
is-
I'm
what-
talking
All
about the
red tape.
profit sharing that
But
you have to give, and even if
agreed.
you're not making a profit, some franchise contracts require you to pay them anyway.
Right. And so, and you also have to follow by their guidelines. You own your own business. COVID happens, this whole thing, and there's all these regulations, it's still your own business. You can choose what you want to have happen. If you're in a franchise, you can't do that.
you can't.
Well, you have to
follow
pay
their
that loan
rules.
back anyways, too, right? Even if the Fed was like, hey, I'm going to come in and help your business and save it, you still have to pay that back, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Eventually. Eventually. Whether it's through inflation or what.
Yeah.
That's another topic, isn't it?
Happen.
Oh, we're all paying for it.
Eventually, we're all going to pay for it.
Have you pumped gas lately? Have
right?
you bought a sandwich?
Brett, are you giving special favors? Stop it.
No.
Stop.
You know my secret to success?
Malibu's most wanted right there.
Red
When
line.
you said,
Right.
when you
Red
said
line.
chains,
Right
I was
there.
thinking Malibu's most wanted, right?
2 chains. That's me.
2 chains.
So let's go back. So let's talk with Vicki here. So Vicki, I think that a lot of people want to know. Walk me through the process of somebody that comes and sees you for the first time, and how do you approach them?
So people come to me for all different things. If they're coming to start up a business and they just know that they already are going to do the business and they just need an LLC, we do it remotely. There's no need. They can send me the information through my PDF fillable form. I set it up. There's questions that they have to answer, and they get their documents, and they're a business owner within 2 hours.
Yeah, but let's say if I'm going to say I want to start a business, like you said, you do all the legwork. You're looking at all the things that okay, this is SEO and cost, and do I need employees or not? All these things, and you're putting in all the legwork and doing all the homework. So when does that conversation happen? Does it? I mean, the first one's like, okay, this is what I think the cost will be. This is what is that how it
no,
works?
no. It's a 3-month course.
Okay.
It's 12 hours. It's 1 hour a week for 12 weeks. And we give you homework.
Okay.
And we teach you. We either do it virtually or we do it through Zoom or in person.
What are the subject matters that they get to go through?
Everything from the beginning. What is the concept? What is my market? We'll do things like, how do I build business credit? How do we set up the LLC? Everything is a process. Where do I want to open this? What kind of licenses? Is this a regulated business? Is it a privileged business? For example, people don't know this, and I'll throw it out there. There's a business you can have in town. People laugh about escort services, but there is actually a license that you can have to be a licensed escort service.
How is that if it's illegal?
It's not illegal. but
Yes,
people
it
don't-
is. In Clark County,
Well,
Isn't prostitution
It's
illegal?
Escort and prostitution are 2 different things,
it's
aren't they?
called an alcohol promoter's license.
Huh.
And what they're allowed to do is bring in the girls that dance, and
Okay.
they go to the hotel rooms.
And then what they work out on their own's on them.
Well, I mean,
Basically.
prostitution's
Do you
not.
call that
yeah.
a workout?
I don't know. It's what I've heard. I had friends tell me.
Oh my god.
So let me say this. So you got your slogan's the side hustle. What is it?
Let's make your side hustle legit.
Let's make your now. You said you're Italian. Do you get like a mob discount or what? Because you're Italian or no?
That's it.
If you're from Sicily.
If not, bud, you better
how
at
do you
86.
how do you show the credentials from that? Like you just got to bring it out and just flash like, hey, Sicily. You're like,
She just says
If I
Greco.
told you, I'd have to.
So is she a clown to you?
Are
Does she
you
make
guys
you? Does she
nice
make
to
you
the
laugh? Is that what she is? She's funny to you?
I mean, come on, us Irish, we're the same. So
I have a quarter Irish in me. That's the crazy
Okay.
part, honey.
They-
See?
that's
There
the
you
crazy part.
so escorts. You said escorts is really a legit business, right?
Well, the word escort's not used anymore. It's called an alcohol promoter's business, and people are allowed to have an alcohol promoter business where they hire dancers to go give private dances in hotel rooms.
Wow.
Now, what those girls do there, if they do illegal acts,
My
then
name's
they
Paul.
would get
This
in
between you
trouble.
all. I didn't know anything, man.
Gosh, Brett, you are just special. You are extra, my friend.
I try to be every day.
You are. You're accomplishing.
Let's
the
Thank
let
you.
Vicky
Thank you.
talk about
Yeah, I
the
wanna
escort
hear this.
situation. So you
Well,
said
no,
they give live shows and stuff. Is that what you're saying?
They can do, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of different businesses. So depending on the business, we go through what they're going to have. There's a lot of legal issues in an alcohol promoter's license business, because if you know those girls are going to do something that they're not allowed to do, it could come back on you. So there's waivers, releases. There's a lot of things that
Wow.
you have to do to protect yourself in every
Right.
business.
I can imagine.
Most realtors don't even carry their own errors and omissions insurance,
You're supposed to carry that.
but they don't.
Explain what that is.
So
A lot of brokerages will have that attached to every deal you do.
I want to hear what is
Yeah,
it?
what is
I
it?
don't
I'm just
know.
saying.
I'm not in the industry.
when you have an LLC,
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
when you have an LLC and you have insurance under your LLC, it does not include personal acts of negligence. There's an errors and omissions that you can add for personal acts of negligence so that you can never be personally liable for anything you do in your LLC. And realtors must use their name as their LLC based on the real estate division. So it's really just a protection for them.
Interesting. That's something like note,
Yeah.
go do that if you haven't done it.
So
Public
you look at your businesses, right? And do you have businesses yourself? Like, do you start up multiple businesses, or you
I do.
Okay, so challenges. Have you had any when you first started? Like, what were some of the challenges you personally went through?
Getting the phone to ring.
That's it, huh?
Getting business.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
see,
everybody's
my-
challenges that.
my
But I mean,
business-
there's got to
my
be more.
business is between my head.
Okay.
My business is my knowledge. I am my business, right? So if I don't have clients that want my knowledge, what good is my knowledge?
Right.
So I have to have people
You
calling
need to
me for my
find
knowledge.
find people who want your knowledge.
How are
Right.
you finding people? How are you marketing that and expanding your business?
So I had a business plan.
Yeah.
When I started my business 3.5 years ago, it was very slow and I was doing other things. And I kept working my SEO and my search engine optimization and my social media. And now I branded myself
Yeah.
because my business is me.
Right.
Okay. Some businesses, it's not you, right? But I
the
brand
business.
myself. Exactly. And so now I see a need for nonprofits. So one of my new businesses is Nevada Nonprofit Consulting. I have a huge international business. People that are coming from Dubai and India that want to open up businesses out here, especially in Vegas because of the convention areas and the things that
Yeah.
they're bringing in from Dubai. So I got in with them. I sit on the board of directors for several international companies.
Wow.
So I do a lot of different things.
So one thing I want to bring up is the housing market. Okay, so we know a lot about you, the challenges of being self-employment, right, and starting a business and understanding what you should and shouldn't do. It's scary, right, especially in this market. Now, for you in this housing market, you've been around for how long?
In this town?
Yeah.
28 years.
20 years. You've seen the transitions, the changes. What do you think the biggest changes are, and do you think this is a healthy market, housing market? I stumped you. Go ahead.
I will say,
Think about
I
it
will
very
say-
carefully
Hold on.
before you answer. Your life depends on
It's
it.
like, don't say anything.
I will say, I would normally defer that to my friend Corinne because
Yeah.
she's the realtor.
But she's not here.
But
But
she's
you know
not
what? We
here.
want it. We
Take
want it
her
not
in.
from a realtor.
Do you guys know any other
perspective.
realtors we could find?
Yeah, we don't want it from a realtor's perspective. It's somebody that is in the market or out there doing things that.
Okay, so
you know
if
what
you're
I mean?
coming with California money, it's a great market. But if you're coming with Nevada money, it's inflated market, and I think it's going to go down probably in about a year and a half.
You think it's going to go down? Everybody, it's fine. Everybody I know is saying it's going to continue to go up, but you think it's going to start to settle in, and maybe.
Well, let me interject here quick.
Here comes
Let
the
me
real
start with
estate
this.
guy.
Why do you think it's going to go down?
Because anything that goes up too fast usually goes down.
So, what factors are going to cause it?
I'm not in the real estate market, and that's why I said I would
No, it's
normally
fine.
go.
She's got her
to-
opinion.
I'm not like trying to accuse you. I'm just like what I'm just interested when people say that.
If I had a house
Because
that
I-
was inflated 300,000-400,000
Sure.
more right now, I would
It's
sell
not.
it and buy
It's
another
it's
one.
not inflated. It's supply and demand. That's economics 101.
Right.
But
So
you,
that's
you
your
got to
answer.
realize this, man. So
know?
everybody has different thoughts and had different experiences. And, you know, when you look at the crash, everybody was like, you know what? I thought this market would continue to go up, and then there was a crash. And people have been jaded. They've probably been
Especially in
suffered.
Vegas.
Right. They've
I
suffered.
understand that.
So
Yeah.
look, and I'm not saying that your way's right, and I'm not saying her way's right or wrong.
It's
but
not my way. I
No,
don't really.
But it's fine, because at the end of the day, you may be right. You know, what happens if something catastrophic happens that we don't see happening behind the scenes?
Right.
We can say, well, look,
Who
on
would
the
have
outs-
predicted coronavirus?
Right, exactly. Who? Well, and here's
Agreed.
because I'm not in the mortgage and real estate market either. And for me, I was here during the crash, and so as I saw things skyrocket, the first thing I said is, "There's going to be a correction."
Sure.
Now, do I think there's going to be a crash? Absolutely not. Too many things have been put in place after everything that happened in 08, 09. But it has gotten a little insane. I mean, nobody predicted.
Well,
we're
no,
gonna have
I
a
mean,
pandemic,
no doubt,
and then the
homes
market's
can't
gonna
go up.
nuts.
Homes
Right.
can't go up 30% every year.
No.
I mean, because
It's gonna
after
slow.
another
But
year,
aren't
it's
people-
just you know.
Aren't people paying like over the asking
Yeah,
price?
I
And
mean,
not getting
it's-
people because they have California cash.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with that, if things go up 30%, say 3 years in a row, like it's going to get to a certain point really quickly. So I don't see things crashing or coming down.
Just
It's just
slow.
we can't have it go. So that's 100% true.
Okay, so
You
let's-
What
know?
do you think the average like
I mean, I think
value
between
of like a house square footage is it $200 a square foot?
I think
500?
right now it's about 225 or 227 a square.
Okay.
You know,
On
but
average?
on average, yeah. I
Not
mean,
in
the
Summerlin.
problem is there's just no homes on the market, and that's the thing that needs to be relieved. I mean, there should be. I mean, right now, I just looked at before we came on the show with condos, townhouses, and single family in Las Vegas right now. I think there's 2,800.
Well, we're
So
gonna
when
we're
I-
There
gonna,
should be like 15,000.
Right.
I don't know.
So until
It's minimal.
we get more homes, it's like you're going to have, even if you have a quarter of the buyers you've had before, that still outweighs the number of homes.
I'll
on the
make
market.
you laugh. The reason I don't know anything about the real estate market is because realtors don't come to me and say, "Hey, I want to open a business. What do you think about me becoming a realtor?"
No,
Right.
I understand. Yeah, because
So look at-
realtors, we know it all.
So look, we're on we
I
got
mean, that's
we
our
got to
attitude, right?
We got to keep going on time, but I want to ask
Let's
this
be
last
honest.
question: would you buy in this housing market where you know now? If you had a primary residence and you wanted to buy, would you buy or would you wait, knowing if you needed a primary residence to buy? Because I think, look, when you're buying a primary, everybody's
so I would
got to
have
buy.
bought, I think, maybe like 6 months ago because the interest rates were down, but now aren't the interest rates going crazy?
Yes.
Not
So
crazy.
when it was
I wouldn't say
when it was
crazy, no.
when the rates were higher, when the houses were higher and the rates were lower, it makes sense.
Well, there's this equilibrium though. I mean, if the rates are coming higher, which they're not crazy. I mean, let's be real. Like, right, and Dan, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, they're not
because this is
crazy.
they haven't gone in an insane amount higher than where they were
Right.
at, right, 6 months ago. They have come up, but what happens is it's also going to start leveling off the
Dan,
price of the home.
$500,000 loan, 20% down, interest rate between 6 months ago and right now. What's the difference in payment?
It's about a half a point higher.
So what would be the difference
So,
in payment?
well, it depends. Now, if you're saying
Exact same circumstance.
would be
$500,000
about-
house, 20% down. What's the difference?
it would be about a $200 difference, probably.
Also-
On that,
It's not
on a
that- it's not
$500,000
that.
loan.
What,
It really
20% down?
is.
Yeah, gotcha.
150 to
And
200.
Okay,
honestly, if you're
okay.
buying a house and you can't afford an additional $200, you probably shouldn't be buying that house to begin
Right.
with. Just saying.
So let's go ahead and move in.
I
right,
agree.
Let's move into right to Brett. So look, we're going to talk a little bit with you a little bit at the end of the show about how somebody can get in contact with you, Vicki. Sure. And we'll plug you. Also, Brett, I just want you, and you can
Put your
ask questions here.
glasses on.
Let's talk with Brett about you have some master plan communities you want to
Yeah,
bring up. So let's
so-
talk about that and
fun.
cryptocurrency.
This actually came out last week. So Las Vegas has placed 4 master plan communities in the top 11 in the country and 5 in the top 25.
You
Number
see
one,
that growth right there? It's crazy.
number one being surprise Summerlin. And so
That's not surprising.
they're
Summerlin
not
rocks.
saying quality of life or income in that neighborhood. They're saying number of home sales. So that's what they're basing this off of.
Okay.
Summerlin was number 3 in the country with 1,619 sales last year.
Oh gosh.
That's an increase of 11%. And then we had Cadence in Henderson came in
Nice.
at number 7.
That's surprising to me. Cadence
I know.
is such a weird spot.
Me too.
I have
Me
such
too.
a hard time with that.
So that was again with sales. So that was number 7. And then Valley Vista in North Las Vegas was ranked 8th
I don't know where that's at.
In the
I don't go out
country?
there.
in the country.
In the country.
So
I'm
they're
not
doing this on
surprised-
number of sales.
I'm not surprised by Summerlin. I mean, Summerlin,
Yeah.
listen, if you live in Summerlin, you
Yeah.
understand, like, it's our own little bubble. We don't leave
You know,
it,
I
we
went
love
up there.
it.
I like it, but it's not like I'm completely sold on it. I
It's
mean,
because you haven't lived.
Yeah.
When have
You
you
either
lived
love
there?
Summerlin or you don't.
Because I've lived on
love it.
every part
Yeah.
of town. And
I
when
agree with you
finally
on
moved-
that.
When I finally moved to Summerlin, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
it's not just a place; it's a people.
I used to be at the top of Anthem. And
Yeah.
for the longest time, people were like, you need to move to Summerlin. And I was like, I'm not moving to Summerlin. I moved to Summerlin. I'm like, man, I'm not
Well,
moving.
I'm stuck. I'm here.
I think what changed my mindset was $350 a square foot. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
No, I'll pay
don't-
it.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
pay it just for
You're
the
gonna pay
fact
it.
Yeah.
That and like I can walk in to anywhere. I can go to the grocery store and I'm like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
just convenient.
I want to be around these people. Hello, what's your name? What do you do for a living?
So
I like it.
to finish things off here, Inspirata was number 11.
Nice.
Interesting.
And Sky Canyon was 22nd.
Nice.
Those are some great numbers nationally.
So let's talk about you have a condo and you got other things and multiple offers. She brought it
Yeah.
up and Vicki brought up a good point. Going
So-
above list, talk to us about that.
So let me give you an example. I have a buyer right now. He's up to 350. He's open to condos, single family condos, whatever it is. and he shot me a note today or text. There's a condo at $300,000. He said, "Can you look into this and give me some more info?" So I end up talking to the agent. It came on the market 3 days ago.
Oh God.
At $300,000. This is a condo.
Let's go.
Okay. Agent got back to me. Agent said in 3 days they had 30 offers.
Yep.
They countered 6 of them, and the 6 they countered are anywhere between 25 to 50K over
Above.
list price.
Yep. Especially in that.
That's a
price point.
$300,000 condo.
Isn't it?
Now,
like
what happens if
500
the
and
appraisal
below?
doesn't come back?
They'll pay it. They'll pay
pay
over.
it.
They
It won't
pay
matter.
over.
Yeah, they'll probably be
know.
cash anyways, so it
Right.
won't matter.
Yeah, it's most
They
likely
could care
a
less.
cash buyer.
Yeah,
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about this.
that's
so
insane.
Real estate's hot. It's going to stay hot. We know that. So your prediction is that prices aren't going anywhere, right? They're going to continue to go up.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, even a lot of national indicators predict prices, percentages to go a lot higher than what I'm saying. I'm saying 4 to 5%. Some of them are saying 10 to 12%.
No way.
And I just think that you can't keep on continuously having that high of a percent every year before something's got to give, no matter how much demand you have.
Yeah.
But I don't see it coming down. I think this
Just
is a new norm.
slowing.
I think it's a new norm. We just need more homes. I mean, I don't know what to say. It looks kind of never ending at this point.
Yeah.
It's the same conversation we've had for a year. We need more homes. We need more homes. Let me guess. We need more homes.
Yeah, supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about cryptocurrency. What do you got for that?
What do you want to know about crypto?
Well, you got a little
Nothing.
article here. Let's
I don't
talk
want to know
about.
anything. Don't talk about it.
So,
And here we go.
What we are talking about here, what did I have here? Sorry. Western states consider taking in digital currency. So basically, there's proposals in Wyoming and Arizona to accept tax payments in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies.
Super cool.
So they would receive their taxes, and you could pay it in Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever cryptocurrency you wanted. So Wyoming is actually not only probably the leading state in the entire country, but one of the leading places in the entire world for blockchain laws being changed to be able to facilitate digital transactions with cryptocurrencies and blockchain.
So this is the start of a big thing happening.
Yeah,
you
like
think, right?
like I was talking
were
to her earlier before. Like Texas has a blockchain council, and one of the things they do is they meet with state senators to have simple little laws more specific or changed, so that, like, for instance, you want to do buy a house with Bitcoin. Well, a lot of title companies may say, yeah, it's technically legal, but there's a lot of ambiguity in between and all these things. So, like Texas, they set up a blockchain council, and they get it changed with the state senators in Texas that basically legally defines and specifically says in like 2 sentences, digital currencies are a legal form of basically acceptance of a legal form of payment. So now you had any ambiguity
and
before.
it's showing as income.
Yeah, and it's
Actual
showing as income. So that basically says there's no gray area now. Straight up, someone can use their cryptocurrency funds to purchase a house or whatever it is, and it's specific. So it's a simple little law or things like that you can change, but it makes all the difference in the world with facilitating your transactions in a multitude of
Yeah,
things.
because I've heard from other lenders that it is a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things that you get to go through.
And that's what it does. It just clears it up. There's no ambiguity.
Something from somebody who is not involved in that market, because I'm like, I don't know what the hell is going
Yeah.
on. You
Yeah.
know, I'll just call Brett.
You want, the
but-
point is this, you
but-
want to make it as easy possible to be able to
Right.
use it for
And
business.
the fact that they're actually passing laws and showing that it can be income and used to purchase
Yeah.
other things, I think is amazing.
Yeah.
But one of the questions that I always had is, okay, so these things are starting to take off, and now they're passing laws showing that this is actual currency that you can utilize in purchase of whatever, XYZ, right?
Yeah.
Now, what about the actual country? Because don't tell me that the government is not going to want to have their hands
Well,
in it.
listen.
So what if they start their own? What happens then?
Here's the reality of this, which is they want to propose these things to be legal tender, which that's a whole nother thing between I'm going to accept cryptocurrency as payments for taxes and I'm going to recognize it as a legal tender for my state. That won't pass.
No?
I mean, no, man.
sure?
I mean, our government won't.
Has anybody here heard of Turo?
No, I've never heard of Turo.
Yeah.
Of course.
Turo is an unregulated business right now because it came up so fast.
Yeah.
Watch what happens in Las Vegas. within a year or two. Look at what happened to Uber and Lyft when they came in.
It was awful.
It's
Airbnb.
almost just like that. Crypto is just like that. Just like right now, Zelle, Venmo, and Cash App are taking it. They were supposed to send everybody their 1099s a couple days ago. They didn't do it because they have no policies, no regulation. Everything is growing way too fast. But when the government and when the regulators catch up to it, be prepared, because all of the people that are in crypto right now going in and out, taking their profits, those are capital gains.
Yeah.
I want to say one thing. So,
So
Running at
interesting.
Altitude said that the average median price for a home in Las Vegas, I think in general, but it's going towards $1 million, and I think that's kind of the norm, right?
Average median?
Yeah, the average. You
$1
imagine
million?
that 10 years ago, saying the average median price home would be $1 million?
No, we would have laughed at it. We would have laughed.
I was saying this to my buddy the other day. I said, think about this. I remember in 2010,
Oh gosh.
like almost everybody I knew was upside down on their mortgage, like $150,000.
Yep.
So if I would have said to you, hey, don't worry about doing a short sale, just hold on to it. I know you're $150,000 upside down right now,
Hang on to it.
but in 10 years, your house is going to be worth 4 times what it's worth right now. They would have said, here's a hit of crack. Please take it. I mean, that's insane to sit there.
I was one of the like small percentages that during like the rise, when they were handing money to anybody that had a heartbeat, I was like, this doesn't make sense. What if like I lose my job, right? And so I just stepped out. Market crashed. I bought my house 2009, and I got it like
It's
it was a pain in
basically
the
who
ass,
was
but I did it.
stuck holding the last mortgage when
I'm
it
the
crashed.
only one in
That's-
2010 that had equity in their home.
Let's move over.
Yeah.
So you have anything else?
Hold on, I want to say this quick though
Go.
about what you were saying about how the government's going to come in with regulation. So people in the crypto space want regulation because we want to be able to facilitate and we want what we're into to grow. But another half of that too is realistically, by the time the government does anything about it, it's going to be so far around the corner.
Yeah.
Have fun keeping up, government.
I agree.
That's my comment
They
on
can't
it.
do it with Zelle, Venmo.
Yeah.
all
I mean,
of
I'm
that.
just saying
Yeah.
because that's the problem. They grow so big, so quick, and now we're talking about globalization and not just America. So
Turo,
anyways,
everything.
They're just
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
Let's segue over to Shannon. So
Oh,
Shannon's,
hi.
we're going to talk about
Oh.
what Shannon wants to speak about today. So Shannon, go ahead.
Oh gosh,
Talk-
what's that?
You tell me.
Oh,
You
gosh.
bring it up.
Well, actually, I think it's a perfect segue into having you here, Vicki, because one of the things that I think a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners where they lack is exactly what you're talking about. Is they think, okay, I have this idea, I'm gonna go run with it, right? And then I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to do all the
Right.
things. And they don't have support along the way. And I don't believe that anybody's self-made. Yes, we're the ones that decide to wake up every morning, put our shoes on. I'm the one at 4:30 in the morning waking up, hitting the gym, coming home, doing my work, have my kids. I choose that. But that does not mean that I didn't have mentorship and guidance and people with outside perspective to help guide me in building my businesses. And I think it's perfect. You talked about that. Is you have these people that come in with these $1 million ideas. Oh, no, I don't need your help. I don't need your guidance. Just give me my LLC. And then they fall flat on their face. And so I would find it really interesting to hear from, I guess, the three of you, really, like, who are those people and what outside guidance have you sought in order to be successful in your industries? Because none of us are self-made. It's not a thing.
Well, I would say this, first of all, an idea without action is just entertainment.
Right. Like knowledge.
So, and that's the thing is, I mean, I have a lot of great ideas, but then when you got to actually start doing the work, like that's the thing, the grind of waking up at 5:30 and going, like, you know, we're all in good shape here, but we work out every single day.
Yep.
So imagine that. If you work out every day, you tend to be in shape. So if you work at your business every single day and you're realistic about grinding it every single day, you're probably going to be more successful.
But did anybody help you along the way? Or is this
Nope.
all just the Brett show?
This is
You never had a mentor?
Welcome to the Brett Jenny Show.
Nobody ever taught you anything? Nothing.
No. I mean, I took
So-
it upon myself. That's the thing about real estate. I remember showing up my first day in Madison, Wisconsin. And I had a briefcase, and I showed up my first day in my office, an empty briefcase. I sat down, I looked around, I said, okay, now what?
Go.
What
I
about
just
you, Vicki?
threw
What do you
myself
think
in it.
about that comment? Did you have a mentor? I mean, what is some of the
Did
the
I or
attributes?
do I? I do.
You do.
I actually had lunch with him today.
I very much suggest having a mentor, by the way.
But my
Everybody.
mentor is a billionaire.
Yep.
My mentor is an Air America.
Does he want to buy a house?
Shut
He is
up,
actually.
Brett.
Yeah, I know he is. He is.
Let me give you my card.
mentor is the person that I look to for my advice.
Right.
So yes,
He's the smarter one at the table.
there always has to be somebody smarter than you. 'Cause
Absolutely.
if you don't
Amen to
think
that.
there's somebody smarter than you,
There's always someone smarter and better.
Right.
Well, I think it's you have to have the base, right, to anything. You have to have a base for business, culture, whatever it is, right? But I think self-leadership is a big one, right? You gotta know what you're capable of doing or what you need to be. It's an obligation.
I'll be honest
to
with you.
wake
I
up.
think that's the number one thing or it was for my success or for anyone in general. Discipline.
Yeah.
Motivation. What's
Motivation.
motivation? Motivation poster. That's great. So motivation is awesome for a short term. But for long term, to get
doesn't
that
work.
grind over with, you need to have discipline straight up.
if you don't know
Yeah.
what to do with it, though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
And here's the thing that I've learned over the years. I'm really dedicated, and it was funny because over the weekend, my oldest son, my dad called me and said, "Hey, would your oldest, would he be willing to come dig a hole at my house? I'll pay him $100." And I looked at him, I go, "Ty, you want to go dig a hole at Grandpa's for $100?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Okay." I go, "All right, Dad, he's coming." And I knew what was going to happen. And I showed up to go pick him up on Saturday, and he wasn't done yet. And he's okay. Well, I'm ready to go. And I have 2 kids, so I'm picking my little one up. I said, "Sir, just so we're clear, like you dedicated yourself to this. You're getting paid for this job, and you're not going to give up. Do you need to take a break? Go take a break. My arms are shaking. I'm tired. Okay, cool. How far can you push yourself? But you are not going to give up. I'll be back when you're done."
So
See you
what was
later.
this hole
But,
for?
well,
Damn.
it was a trench. My dad's a plumber. It's a whole thing.
Oh,
But
okay.
But it's funny. It's funny though.
Another
because,
plumber story, right?
Because I
Yeah.
go. Listen. I said, "Hey, while you're doing this with your grandpa, why don't you ask him some questions? Ask him about his childhood. Ask him about how I grew up. Ask him all these things, right? Gain some knowledge from somebody who's done things that you aren't capable of fully doing on your own."
I think that's all important, but I think you have to have a blend. And when I say self-leadership, what I was saying is in life, I mean, you got to be mentally ready for some of the things, the challenges that you're going to go through. And it's not just business, it's life, right? You can't have government, in my opinion, take care of you, right? If you need a help or your crutch. So I think it starts with your mindset going into what are you trying to accomplish and what extent are you willing to go to get it?
there's a lot of people
I
that
agree
don't
with
want to
you.
be entrepreneurs and wouldn't even
They're not
be
cut out for it.
interested.
But not everybody should be. I mean, think
Yeah.
about it. How can we grow businesses and have the grocery store or whatever without having people who that's just not their jam? That's fine. And like my point is, yes, you have to be a self-starter. If you want to have a business, you want to be an entrepreneur, you do have to be the one that wakes your ass up every single morning
Right.
and lights the freaking fire.
But you also have to be
And-
able to listen to other
Yeah,
people's
and
opinions and
having-
advices.
Right. Like I sat in a meeting the other day with somebody who is highly successful, and you better believe when I was like, "Listen, I'd love your opinion. This is what we're doing and this is our vision, but what do you think? What routes would you take? What would you do?" I'm going to soak in that knowledge and I'm going to go and try to apply it. And let's see what happens. And I think that's where a lot of business owners and new entrepreneurs, especially the e-commerce online, they just like throw things at the wall and they think that they're going to throw something on Facebook and the phone's going to ring. That's not how this works. And you have to and like I always say, your business will never outgrow you. You have to build yourself too.
I want to say one thing because we got to end the show here, but I'm going to say this last question. So, do you guys think you measure success based upon somebody's financial stature?
No.
So explain that then. What do you deal
I
with
think that there's pillars to success, right? Like number one, there's the financial portion, the monetary value, right? Like what you want to create and the kind of lifestyle you want to live. Are you happy? Do you enjoy waking up every single morning and it lights a fire under your ass? And is it something that you're actually really good at? Like those 3 things have to happen. And if you're really good at something but you freaking hate it, you're not going to make money and you're not going to be successful in life, because success doesn't equate to necessarily just money. Like it's a lifestyle. It's your family, it's your kids, it's your clients. What is their experience? It's the impact and the ripple effect that comes from it. So that's my perspective.
What about you, Vicki?
Peace of mind. You have to have confidence in yourself, but I don't think somebody's financial status means they're successful at all. They could have had 10 divorces, 17 kids that they never seen. So what kind of family life do you have? What kind of support staff do you have? What kind of people would actually be there for you if you needed help? that is what measures what kind of person a person is.
And Brett, how about you? Is it about gold chains?
Absolutely. 2 chains.
Is it all the Bitcoin?
I would say it's absolutely not all about financial, but tell me someone you'd consider successful that doesn't have financial success.
What's the driving force?
It kind of comes hand in hand. Yeah. So by saying successful, it's inferring that financially you're good.
I think if you keep those pillars, then naturally.
I'm not saying that everyone that is successful and has money is completely happy in other areas of their life.
Right.
But financially, that's part of what comes with the territory. How can it not? That's,
All right, so we're going to end the show. I want to go around. Brett, how does somebody get a hold of you, buddy?
702-628-3476 or brettjenny.com.
Shannon?
702-445-9473 or follow me on the gram, Shan, SHANN, Miller, LV
Wow.
at Gmail.
Sorry, on the gram, I'm Brett.
gram.
I'm Brett to the J.
I'm on all the things.
Brett to the J.
Brett to the J.
And how about you, Vicki?
On Facebook, Nevada Small Business Consulting. On Instagram, Nevada Small Business. My phone number is 702-758-4691. I even had to look to see what it was because I'm mostly on social media.
Hey, but what's that slogan again? I want to say, is it something about what is it?
Make your side hustle legit.
Make your side hustle legit.
I really like that a lot.
That's nice.
That's really good, right?
It was a COVID thing.
I'm going to steal that.
It was a COVID thing.
You can't steal it. It's
I'm
hers.
a realtor. I was claiming it's
She's already
mine.
patented.
Well,
You gonna give
listen,
her
the
royalty?
name of my company is Silent G, and you guys keep talking about two chains. There's a
Yeah.
song by Lil Wayne called 7 by 7.
Oh, okay.
And it says, you never let them see you coming like the Silent G in lasagna.
Oh, that would go along with my 2 chains.
Yep.
All right, guys. So this is the most real behind-the-scenes information on financing real estate, money talk, entrepreneurs like Vicki. I want to say, Vicki, thank you for coming on. You took
Thanks
time
for
out
having
of
me,
your
guys.
day to come down here in traffic. So I want to say thank you so much. We'll have you on again. If you guys like the channel, please hit the like button. Also subscribe. I'm your host, Dan French. We need subscribers. Please subscribe to this channel.
Let's do it.
We'll see you guys later.
Thank you for watching the French Workbench podcast. You can find us here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. to find out all the information on real estate and financing here in Las Vegas. Also, check us out on our LV Home Professionals website. You can find your future home there, a lot of good information, and you